Very well. Once again, welcome everyone to our meditation session this Wednesday morning. I'm happy that you are here and we get to explore something that I'm very interested in sharing with you, that I am sure it can benefit your spiritual path, but also give you a practical approach to meditation. To, as I say, burst the bubble of our meditation and have it have its clear impact, its clear effect in our lives more and more. So for the next few sessions, we are going to dedicate time to something that I'm calling the purification of the mind. So I'm excited to share this with you and to enter into this state of more mind purification. Now, meditation is a very fine process. And we can also call meditation a process of mind refinement. It makes the mind more fine. It enhances the mind. It empowers the mind. But how exactly does this happen? Through the next few sessions, I want to talk to you about how you may be particularly specifically perceiving a refinement, an improvement, an enhancement in your mind, as well as the scientific conversation about it, what it really is happening to us as we meditate. And of course, the spiritual aspect, which is the basis of it all. As much as I can talk about the process of purification that comes to the mind and this refinement process, it can be quite interesting. It can be quite fascinating. But if you do not sit to the practice, then you are missing out on the most powerful component of it. We need a sustained meditation practice. We need to stick to our practice, to our routine. This is very, very important. If you do that, you will discover it in yourself. And I want to tell you about this today in the form of a story. So it's story time today. And I'm sure you may know from me or any other teacher that we use stories a lot. Many, many teachers use stories. And there is a reason for this. Stories allow us to perceive deeper meaning that the logical mind sometimes may have some hard time grasping. So there's a great power, a great use in using stories. And today I want to use a very, very ancient story to talk to you about this. Once, long ago, the gods themselves needed help. Even though they were divine beings with supreme intelligence and supreme power, they found themselves in a very difficult situation, for they had been at war with the Asuras, or the Asuras are also what we can call demons. And in this war, the demons had increased in power very, very much. So the gods themselves, they started feeling fear. They feared that the power of the demons was too great. They feared that the outcome of the war could end in misfortune for everyone. So they needed help. The gods themselves had been fighting for so long against the Asuras, the demons, and they needed help. Eventually, in their path, as they were exploring, trying to find someone who could help them, they came to Vishnu. Vishnu is another god, and he is known as the sustainer of the universe. Here you have Vishnu lying on a snake. He uses a snake for a vehicle, but mostly for resting, a divine snake. So the gods came and they asked for his help. After all, Vishnu is the sustainer of the universe. He is the one that held it. So they logically assumed that if they go to the one who's holding the universe, that it would be good. He's going to prevent the universe from being destroyed because he's the one holding it in place. So it should be good to go to Vishnu. And Vishnu gave them instruction. He said, you must go and churn the ocean. There was a particular ocean and a particular method that the gods needed to create a great movement in the ocean itself. And from the ocean, Vishnu said, something will come. If you do this strengthening process for long enough, strong enough, Soma will come. Soma is translated as the nectar of immortality, is a fountain of youth, is the elixir of bliss. But Soma is also divine connection, spiritual connection. Soma is also what you experience when you enter a state of bliss in meditation. So it's also immortality. So, of course, if the gods became immortal, they would be victorious against the demons. However, they discovered something quite terrifying, is that even though they were the gods, they were divine beings, they did not have enough strength. The gods had not enough strength, even though it's the gods. They needed more help. Now they know what to do, but they needed more help. So they went to find help. They needed a lot of strength. Where do you think they went? Who do you think they went to ask for help for this process?
The humans.
Demons. Yeah. Because they're the only other strong group. It's not just a fair match and equal competition. It is more than that. It is about understanding the dynamics of power, the push and pull. And this is what it ended up looking like. Right, on the left side, you can see the demons. On the right side, you can see the devas, the gods. Right? They took a huge mountain and they took a huge snake, which is a fascinating part of the story, but not the point that I want to make today. And they used it to again turn the ocean, as if you were the same process that you do when you want to turn milk into butter. And now that they had so much power, we could call it double power. They were finally doing it. The ocean in the whole world was moving so strongly that finally things started happening. Something started happening. But they kept going. This was instruction that Vishnu gave them. They had unwavering focus because they had also been told what they could gain from it. Soma, the nectar of immortality. And from the ocean itself. The ocean, you need to understand also that the ocean, there's many things in the story, that it was also the place where they poured their faith. It's a sacred water source. So the ocean became a device for the universe to realize their deepest desires. It allowed them to bring them into reality. The universe had no option but to give them wonderful things, but also terrible things, because we're talking about the demons here. So from the ocean, so many things came out. giant elephants, the divine musicians of the heavens. Many, many things came, both terrible and beautiful, terrifying and awe-inspiring, but not the soul, not the elixir of immortality that they so sought. The instruction was to keep going. Even after some time, Lakshmi herself, the goddess of prosperity, came out, and still it wasn't enough. The goddess herself of prosperity and abundance, who is also the wife of the one who set them on this task, the wife of Vishnu, the god of sustaining the universe, he got his wife out of this. And still he instructed it's not enough. They kept going. They had to keep going until their aim was attained. And of course, they were successful eventually. Eventually, they were able to keep going. And from there sprung out the god Soma with the elixir Soma. They were able to do a practice, do a ritual, and drink it. And thus the gods became immortal, but not the demons. There are more details about the story that are quite fascinating. It's a beautiful story that has many, many parts of it, many angles. Recently, my mentor also shared this story, but today I want to share it. He was sharing it from the prosperity angle, but today I am using it to begin our conversation on purification of the mind. And you see, the story, it talks about you. This is what you need to understand in meditation. The gods, they are your positive qualities. And the asuras, the demons, are your lower qualities. They were both granted to you for a reason. And they are both needed for the process of purification of the mind. Ultimately, we need to understand that the good qualities, our divine qualities, the gods, will always prevail. The gods themselves are immortal. Your good qualities are always better, stronger, bigger than your bad qualities. Always. Your good qualities are actually the platform through which your bad qualities can even exist. There are many reasons why we know this is true. Not only because we feel it, but also because of the principle of benevolence. The spiritual principle of benevolence says that the consciousness, God, or the universe, is fundamentally benevolent, not malefic. It is fundamentally benevolent. It is good. It wants the best for you, the absolute best. It knows your heart's truest and deepest desires. So we need to understand that we have these two sides, but there is one side that always prevails. And we need to understand that we need a clear aim in our meditation that aligns with these divine qualities. Once we identify a clear aim, we can finally plant our feet on it, firmly, unwavering, loving, and liberating. So this is why we can move on to purification of the mind and to discover deeper and deeper aspects of what meditation can do for us and why we meditate. Of course, in our sessions, oftentimes I tell you, we're meditating like this. Today we're doing this, we're doing that. And through our conversation, I receive guidance as of where to direct the meditation through the readings that I give to some of you, the conversations that I have with some of you in the group or in private, those of you who watch the recording, those of you who may be watching the video. So the more that we connect in this way, the more that we can see the purification of the mind as a goal in our meditation. We cannot simply meditate without purpose, without a goal. Again, this goal that we want to have in meditation, it needs to align with our good qualities. So we need to look deeply. We need to look sincerely at ourselves and really have something that we aspire to in meditation. Sure enough, I talk a lot about discipline, and that is very important. But what do you want? Ask yourself, what do you want in this current stage of your life? What do you require? What do you desire? What do you need? That is a part that you need not judge. You need to write it down. You need to have it very clear in your mind. What is your goal? If you are without a goal, aren't you aimless? Aren't you floating adrift? And why is this so important? And how does it help us purify our mind? You will feel it in just a moment in your meditation. But you see how the gods and the demons, they kept churning the ocean no matter what came. They kept going. They kept going. In the same way, as you are refining your goal, you are refining yourself. You'll notice that things come, both beautiful and terrible. If you write yourself a goal, a destination, you can see what comes in the way of it. What judgments do you have for it? Before even anyone comes to your face and judges it, you have already judged it so harshly. Before anyone threatens you, you have already destroyed it. There is no greater recipe for failure and disaster than your own harsh self-judgment. So we need to purify our mind from this. A pure mind means that it is able to go towards that which it desires. So of course, again, we want to purify the mind. We want to receive guidance through meditation, but you need to have a goal. Of course, the goal sometimes comes in the form of what we discuss day by day, what we discuss during our readings, but you need to go towards that. You need to think about that more and more every day throughout the day. You need to observe how your actions are or aren't aligning to that goal, especially if you aren't where you would like to be, because that means that there's some more observation that is needed. So ask yourself, what do you want? What do you desire? And the first thing that you need to purify your mind from is harsh self-judgment. In yoga, they talk so much about not judging. Incorrect. We need to judge so many things. It's very important. Just not yourself in that way. You need to understand your value. You need to do many things, but you cannot break yourself through harsh judgment. That's where you need to be careful. That's where you need to practice compassion and love. Is it making sense so far? Okay, so yes, hard questions need to be had. The hardest and simple question of all, what do you want? Now, to live that in our meditation, very simple, as I'm guiding you today, I will ask you to concentrate on one thing. Sometimes mantra, breath, a sensation, this or that. That is the aim. But what happens? The mind doesn't want to stay there, does it? It shows you this, it shows you that. It shows you good things, it shows you bad things. Correct? It does that. Beautiful and terrible. but you must keep going. And remind yourself as you are meditating to keep your focus on what we will focus, depending on the session. If you buy what the mind sells at a very low cost, you will have a low quality mind. If you get distracted by the simplest of thoughts, your mind knows. And it knows that it can take your attention away, your power away, with the simplest of thoughts. But if you stay present, you observe the thought coming in. And you don't judge the thought. You do not judge yourself. You simply notice the thought coming up. And you allow yourself to breathe, to keep in the aim that we all have. Gently. You can call it pushing it aside, or gently letting it rise, or gently letting it be. I'll give you some visual tools for this as we go to. But you need not cling to the thought and then go to the story that the thought wants to promote. And eventually, you will notice that your mind has no option but to increase the purity and the quality of the thoughts that it offers. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that exciting to practice? A better mind. Let's take a look at our meditation, everyone, and see if we can perceive this. So please find a comfortable meditation posture, whether you're sitting on a chair or cross-legged. If you are sitting on a chair, please plant your feet firmly down, if that is possible for you, or you can also sit cross-legged. First, become conscious of your body, your physical posture, and make the body comfortable. Become aware of your face and relax your face, your facial expression. And please bring the attention to the breath. You are always breathing, but you are not always aware that you are breathing. Seek not to interfere with the breath, but just be a witness to it. No judgment, just observation, just awareness. The breath is happening, and you are here to witness it. And as soon as now, you may notice the tendency of the mind to try to own the experience. The mind wants to judge or qualify the breath, or the mind is already showing signs, indications of distraction. As you become more and more familiar with your own mind, with the way it behaves, you can keep that awareness open to prevent distraction. For now, your task is to keep your awareness on the breath, only the breath, and nothing but the breath. Can you remain present and notice how our simple tasks constantly receives the visit of the mind? So the mind shows something, offers something. But you need not cling to it. You need not become it. You need not react to it. You have the ability of just letting it be. You have the ability of sitting in stillness and observing only the breath. Notice how the thought appears, but will eventually disappear. Perhaps you can feel the attraction, the gravity of the mind trying to grasp your attention. There is nothing wrong with that, and there is nothing wrong with you. Some of your qualities are used to pulling in that direction. But now, here, in the beautiful stillness, the beautiful rhythm of the breath, you appeal to your divine qualities. The mind will come again. time and time again. There is nothing wrong with this. There is nothing wrong with the mind. There is nothing wrong with you. Rather, it's the beautiful power of the mind. That you are more powerful. You are the master of this mind. As you sit with the breath, the mind comes with a behavior, with a question. What if? What about this? What about that? And yet now you can become aware of this tendency of your mind and just let it be. Just observe it. The thought arises, stays for a while, and disappears. It will come, stay for a while, and disappear. But your awareness is ever present. It is always there. Every time that you do not cling to the mind, that you do not go with the mind, you become a little bit stronger, more powerful. In this game of churning the ocean, every breath in awareness, every thought that you let be, you are betting in the divine qualities. You are supporting your own good qualities to rise victorious. So every breath counts. No effort is wasted. And every second is precious. Now bring your awareness to your toes. Feel your toes and relax them. Relax both feet, your ankles. Feel your shins, your calves. Make sure that they are relaxed, free of tension. Relax your knees and even the space inside the knee. Relax your thighs, your hips, your pelvis. Relax your lower belly and your lower back, your stomach, your abdomen, your middle back. Relax your chest, your shoulders, and your upper back. Relax your arms, elbows, forearms, wrists, hands, and fingers. Relax your neck, your throat, your face, and your entire head. Feel the entirety of your body relaxed but aware, an active relaxation. Consciously feel the body relaxed but full of life. Now I invite you to take a few deeper breaths. Inhale deeply and exhale completely. And notice the vitality that comes when you inhale deeply and the relaxation that comes when you exhale completely. Taking another deep breath to fully connect with your body, with your presence in the room. When you're ready, you can do the process of caring for your eyes, rubbing the palms of your hands with one another until they are nice and warm, nice and warm. Close your eyes and feel the warmth. Open the eyes and then remove the hands. Now, I want to give you a few minutes to write down in your journal how your meditation was today, but also I want you to take some time and write down two things for me. One of them is that today you noticed we did two different things in meditation. One of them was guided breath awareness, the first part. And the second part was guided body awareness and relaxation, when I took you to different parts of your body to relax them. The first thing I ask you, aside from writing in your meditation journal, is for you to tell me how these work for you, which one is best, which one helps you more feel present and concentrated on the two. And another thing is that I want you to write down in your journal, what would you like to explore in meditation so we can discuss about this? Would you like to improve your memory? Would you like to do this? Would you like to do that? Now that you just came out of meditation and that you are centered, take time to write down in your journal, what is it that you would like to achieve? I'm going to give you a couple of minutes and tell me if there's any questions. We'll come back in a moment. All right, everyone. How was your meditation today? Yeah, Margarita. It's an interesting analogy that you used, a short leash. You know, I'm no dog trainer, but I am quite passionate about training dogs. So I've learned a little bit about this, and I've gone a little bit into dog training, just like my family's dogs and such. And there is a purpose for a short leash. When the mind becomes too chaotic, if you give it too wide of a space, it will be impossible to contain it. The same way when we're walking the dogs and the dog is too excited, too short of a leash actually means that the dog will pull stronger and harder. And it can make you, the danger of it, of course, is that the dog's pulling and it can make you lose your balance and you could fall, right? But keeping it short, keep it contained, and we keep the attention of the dog with us. The dog, even as little training as it may have, starts thinking, why am I not more free? Why am I not more free? Keeps the dog will start giving you more and more attention. So gradually, the dog understands what you're trying to do. And you're able to eventually, of course, let it roam free, just like our own mind. If we do not know the mind, it is actually dangerous to let it roam free. The dog may run away, and now you have no dog. But if you train the mind, you can let the dog run free, and you can call it back. And it gives you more attention. So it's a gradual process, the process of the short leash, for sure. Thank you for sharing, Marguerite. Also, everyone, please do tell me about what would you like to explore in meditation. That is very important. Like I said, in the next couple of sessions, talking about purification of the mind, it's important. I want to share a few things about that. But I also want to hear from you and to develop programs that are very specific and tailored for us. Thank you, Mike. What about Claire? How was your meditation today?
Thank you. I'm just gonna go and put some more.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. My meditation was very good. I felt that I could stay focused a good part of the meditation. When mine was coming in, I could kind of like come very easily back to the breathing. So it was a good feeling. I also noticed that in general, maybe these 2 latest months, meditation has been harder in general. I notice, especially when I do my daily meditation, that I kind of have to work even harder to not get distracted by the mind, and mind normally stay for a long time, and it feels like very difficult. But I feel also that it's been special this last week, maybe the last days. I had a lot of like small challenges every day. So I'm not talking about during meditation, but I'm talking about during the day. Like special situations that has been kind of like challenging, and I have really worked on how to take these challenges, and especially observing my mind in those situations. And I have been surprised because I feel like I have done a lot of progress, and and like trying to not go where I usually go with my mind or with the preoccupations. Um, and I feel like just the last days, that like small episodes that I feel like, wow, I am dealing with this in another way that I might do, that I have done before. So I feel like there is like there's starting to be more changes in this aspect, and I also feel like this helps. I start to feel like this also helps during the meditation, like just the last days, just the 3 last days, I'm feeling this progress in my daily meditation, and also today. Um, so I'm very glad for that. I felt that it was maybe easier to stay present when you do the guidance of the body awareness contra the guiding of the breath awareness. And this is maybe because I feel like we maybe not do it that often contra the breath awareness. So maybe that's why I felt that it feels more easy to stay present in the body awareness. So thank you.
Thank you, Glenn. Well, that's it, right? You are feeling in your daily life like there is something different. And that is really the purpose of our meditation, as I always say, that it has have a practical component, that it really changes the way we are doing the usual things that we're doing. At the very, very least, when we have a new awareness of our mind, we know for a fact that we can operate just a little bit differently. Maybe not completely differently, but our new awareness grants us a new power. And the more aware we are of the mind, the less it has power on us. The more it informs us, the less it influences. The more it influences us, the less it informs us. The double eyes. So good. You are beginning to see that now you have a broader awareness of your mind for the daily days, and that's good. That's all that matters. And of course, there are seasons when meditation feels very difficult. And there is nothing to be said, there's nothing to be done about it, because it is also part of the process. Because we can't also only do meditation when it's easy or when it feels good. It is actually, it's a little bit hard to explain, but there are even many, many times in which we may feel like meditation is not working at all. We are incompatible with meditation for entire seasons. This has happened to me. But I continue exploring and say, okay, I feel like this is definitely not happening, but I'm going to continue there just to prove this part of the theory, just to see what happens if I keep the practice, no matter the result, no matter nothing. And even though, of course, we never do it for the result, and even though we need to have a goal that we go to and that we detach from as well, you realize that there's always something guiding you, something protecting you, even when meditation feels completely incompatible. So even people who have meditated for a long time, they face these walls, whereas suddenly for a season meditation seems like the best word I can think of is incompatible. But there is something there to be experienced if we keep on practice. I want to encourage all of you to reflect on this and to send on the chat. What are you interested in exploring in meditation? No judgment, just anything that you want to explore. And we can start that conversation in the WhatsApp group as well. Tiff, would you like to share with us how your meditation was this morning?
Yeah, it's short. We were talking about like I didn't know on purpose that it happened. So I have like a bad habit of picking at my skin, you know? And so I noticed that happen right from the beginning. I got distracted. And rather than like shaming myself for it or saying like, oh, that's bad, what are you doing? So I'm like, okay, let me do it for a little bit. That's okay. And then I put a stop to it. I think like a loving boundary. Like, okay, well, for the rest of this time, whatever time it is, just focus on my breath and get back to the present. And then I would like to tested that and but like well, during meditation if I have an itch or or use it. I noticed like 3 times that happened and kind of I told myself to go back to that and then it went away. Yeah, I think also one of the first times where in the end when you said just rub your palms together and to get out of it, I stayed longer. I didn't want to do that. And usually I'm like, oh, it's over, let's just come back. But this time around, it's like, no, I'm gonna stay. No, it's really good. Or I think things that I work on with meditation. There's a link between meditation, emotional regulation, working memory, visualization, body awareness, mantras I can use for prosperity. Yeah, that's
Thank you, Tiff. Well, you gave me a lot of homework, which I like. And there's, I hope I don't forget, 3 main things that I'm really excited to respond to about what you shared. So thank you. The first one is we really need to let things be and let them run its course. Like what you say, the skin picking or this or that. And it's so good to just, you notice how just by letting it be, you brought the power back to you. And when we don't do that, usually because we're busy throughout the day and we don't realize that we have these habits, things that we do, right? For me, it used to be when I was younger, I was biting my nails, right? Or I would crack my fingers excessively, like excessively. Snap my fingers. What is it? What is this called in English? Crack, snap. And just like when we have an infection, just like when we have an injury, just like when we have a disease, we need to let it run its course. And the medicine helps us, but still the infection needs to do its whole process, and the same way it runs its course. And we bring the power back to us and we just let it be. The second thing that I'm really happy to hear too is the part where you said that you were already testing something. And that's really truly all that meditation is for us to be scientists and to explore a tool and test it. And that's that curiosity of, okay, now let me find out about this. It's such a beautiful thing because then we actually start seeing what works and what doesn't work. And meditation becomes our own. It's such a beautiful thing. And I find it personally fun when I remember also there were times in which I would sit to meditate and I would also get an itch. And I would say, let me actually, because the itch was so strong, I really wanted to scratch it. And I couldn't go back to the breath. Okay, but so what do? I know, let me just observe the itch and actually become really familiar with the sensation of the itch. And then I observe, wow, the sensation of itching is such an incredible, crazy sensation. There's nothing quite like it. At first, it feels like something I want to scratch, and then it feels good if I scratch it. But what happens when you only feel it? Sometimes it becomes painful. It becomes almost like you feel like almost like perhaps like a needle or something brushing or not. So staying with the sensation became quite interesting with me. With a pleasurable sensation, with an itch, with pain, or sometimes I would observe the numbness of the legs as we stay for a long time in meditation, right? So to use ourselves as our own laboratory, to use yourself as your own scientist and just explore is such a beautiful, beautiful thing. And of course, I'm very happy to hear that because it is a good sign as well. The meditation is over. We still feel like, oh, this is a nice place to be. This is a nice place to stay. let me stay there for a little bit longer. And when we discover that in ourselves, it's such a beautiful, beautiful thing. Because then meditation becomes a good friend, a good place to visit throughout the days. So thank you for sharing that and for giving me homework on new things to explore our meditation. All right, everyone. So I want to thank you all so much for your time. Do use the chat for continuing this conversation. Thank you all so much for your practice today. I'm going to stop the recording here. So take good care of yourselves, and I'll see you all tomorrow.